Good morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from Sulphur, Louisiana. Today's verse is Titus 2:15. These things speak and exhort and reprove with all authority. Let no one disregard you. And before I get too far into this, let me also re-quote this from the Living Bible. I like how it expands the idea a bit. You must teach these things and encourage your people to do them, correcting them when necessary, as one who has every right to do so. Don't let anyone think that what you say is not important. Okay, it starts with these things speak. What things? Well, the most immediate context is the gospel message that was presented in the last four verses. In verse 11 that we covered here, all about salvation. In verse 12 that we covered over here, it's all about sanctification. In verse 13 that we covered over here, that's all about the glories of heaven awaiting us and our mindset to have heaven right here on earth. And in last week's verse 14 over here, it was all about the reason behind it, his sacrifice that means so much to us that we are just so willing to sacrifice for him right on back. Now it says, these things speak and exhort and reprove. Notice the progression there. Speak, exhort, reprove. Speak is the lowest level, the first level, which is like teach. Teach these. Hopefully Christians will receive that message and respond correctly just from being taught it. But if that doesn't work, go to the next level, which is exhort. That's like encourage. Arm around their back, just surrender to God. He's got your back. Watch what he can do in your life, because he's much more capable than you are at fixing whatever issue we might have. But then there is that last one, and that is rebuke. And so if a Christian is in error and needs to be brought back to the right path with God, a good elder is going to say, look, you're going this way, and that's not the way God wants you to go. According to his word, you should be going this way and doing this. I really want to encourage you to get back on track, or else your life is going to take a really bad turn there. And so that's what an elder should do. Then, before I get to the last part, if I were an elder, one of the things I would really focus on is a typical reaction from most Christians, because we Christians are human beings. And that is, if I notice that I am in error, we usually say, well, gee, I need to try harder to be a better Christian. And that's not how it's supposed to work. So again, if, for example, I'm becoming impatient, a typical Christian would grit his teeth and say, I need to try harder to be more patient. And of course, if we try out of our own human efforts, we are going to fail. In God's economy, it works almost the exact opposite of that. And that is, we need to surrender more to him in love so that he can work his patience in us. So I should say, God, I love you more than I love my time. I give my time to you. You can have it and do with it as you wish. And so if I have to spend an extra 10 minutes in line, I could spend that 10 minutes thinking on you, meditating on your word, praising you, or who knows, maybe ministering love to somebody else in line. And watch how he then has that permission to work in my life, and God's patience will just flow once we're open to that. The last part says, let no one disregard you. And at first that might think, I'm an elder and I need to rule with an iron fist and, force everybody to obey me and all that. That's not the idea. Let's look at a cross reference here, and that is 1 Timothy 4:12. Let no one look down on your youthfulness just because Timothy was a young person, but rather in speech, conduct, love, faith, and purity, show yourself an example of those who believe. That's the best way to get people to follow us as elders, is showing ourselves an example, and especially an example of love. Because if we love every moment, we're going to love every moment. I'm your average wretch, and I hope you have a great week.